Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis me once again, and welcome back to another cooking video. I know it's been a year since I made a cooking video, but that's because, well, of course, with cooking videos, you have to spend a lot of money getting the right ingredients, and once you're done with those ingredients, they just sit in your, like the leftovers stay in like your cabinets and you never use them ever again. So yeah, it can be pricey, especially since, you know, prices have been through the roof, but I'm not going to get into that. But this is for a recipe that's a little bit more basic, but has a little bit more style to it. But I felt like, you know, with how many cooking videos I made in 2024, I only made like either one or a few last year. But yeah, things have been quite busy this year for me, especially since, you know how I brought up the fact that in my review for Moana, I brought up the fact that my sister was having a baby. I said it was gonna be next month, but she recently just had it, yeah, so yeah, I have a lot to focus on because, you know, I want to spend some time with my new niece, and but for right now, let's make a new recipe. Now, I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. Well, first I'm going to say what it is. We are going to be making the gourmet truffle mac and cheese from the Amazing World of Gumball. Okay, well, technically it's from the wonderfully weird World of Gumball, which is the, I wouldn't say new spin-off show because it's relatively the same show. It's essentially season 7 just with a different title, but I have been in a lot more of a Gumball mood now that that show has come out, and another season is currently in the works, as well as the talks of a movie. I'm not sure if that's still happening, but we're just gonna have to hear about that later on. I mean, I have this t-shirt that I got from Hot Topic last year. I also got a couple stickers for my car. There's also the Funko Pops that just released for its 15th anniversary. There's also a penny one that's exclusively on the Funko store, but I was able to find the Gumball and Darwin ones. I also got those plush toys, so yeah, I feel like, you know, this would be a perfect recipe to make. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit more style. You will need a lot more ingredients than you would need for mac and cheese, because anybody can make mac and cheese. You can just make it straight from the box. But yeah, anyways, let's get started with the gourmet truffle mac and cheese. And actually, before we get started, I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not following this recipe off of another website. I'm making this entirely from scratch. I'm making my own version of it. So you don't need to like follow this video. This is mostly a video made for fun. You know, I'm not going to do any like measurements for, you know, like the things that I need to put in, because again, it's my own recipe. So yeah, because again, it's mac and cheese, but I feel like, you know, it's pretty easy to know what exactly you need to do when making it. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. Okay, so here are our main ingredients for the truffle mac and cheese. First, we got focaccia bread, because there's going to be focaccia crumb, and I don't know how much cheese that I need to use, or how much that I feel like I should use, but I got 2 bags of Colby Jack cube cheese just in case, sharp cheddar to top it off, of course the macaroni. You can get any store brand macaroni that you want. Balsamic reduction, this is glaze, but it's essentially the same thing. Milk, just in case you need it, like any type of milk. I also got one of these types of dishes because we're going to be putting it in this, just like how it looks in the show. But yeah, Lecter's excited, isn't he, boy? And over here we got some parsley leaves to top it off with. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so as I was making the mac and cheese, I feel like it might be best, if you have this type of cheese as well, use it as well, because, yeah, the cheese sauce is going to get extra sticky, so I feel like, you know, we should get as much cheese as we possibly can, but, yeah, just have these with you in case you need them. Okay, get yourself a pot around this size. You can put it as much as high as you want, because you don't have to follow the macaroni part, because the macaroni part is pretty simple. Just boil it in water, wait for it to boil, then put it in, you know the drill. We're gonna put it on medium because we're not in a rush to make this, because we still have to get the other ingredients first, so yeah. Okay, so right here we got our focaccia bread. You can use any type of focaccia bread for this one that I'm doing. This is cheddar and onion. You don't need to use all of it. It just depends how much you're going to make. Are you going to make some for your family? Are you going to make some for yourself? For now, I'm just going to cut this part of the bread, which is actually very easy to cut. So I'm just going to take this part and set the rest on the other side. Put the position up a little higher so you can see. So I'm just going to divide it into multiple different chunks because, of course, we got to crumble it up, and we're going to put it in like a separate bowl. So yeah, let's cut this up. Okay, so now that we got it nice and cut, get yourself a bowl, and we are going to crumple it into the bowl. You want to make the pieces as tiny as you possibly can, depending on how big your portion is. But yeah, this isn't too hard to crumple up. I don't even think we need this much, just enough for, I guess, this portion, and there should be more than enough. You could also try toasting it if you want to. I'm just going to leave mine in this position because yeah, I mean, it'll be warm by the time it gets on the mac and cheese. Alright, so this should be enough crumb for now, but we got plenty more in case not. But yeah, I think that should be plenty. So yeah, try getting the crust as small as you possibly can. It is a little bit difficult to try using it with your hands. If you have like a mallet, like something to press down on it, then that might make it a little easier. Or I don't know, maybe you can put it in the oven. I'm just gonna see how it tastes first. So because again, this is just, I'm doing this from scratch, so yeah. Okay, so while we wait for the macaroni to boil, we are going to get the cheese ready. I'm not sure if I need this big of a pan, but I do have an extra thing of macaroni in case this is too much. But either way, it should be good. So yeah, I recommend getting the cube kind because I feel like it will be a little bit easier. If you get the shredded kind, I feel like it's just going to, yeah. This is non-stick, so this shouldn't be a problem, but yeah, that might not be too much cheese, but we're going to be using milk in just a second. So yeah, anyways, we get the cheese in. It's good that there's a little bit of white too, because we want to make it as bright as possible, because that's how it looks in the show. Alright, so now we put it on medium, and we want to make it as creamy as possible. So first, I recommend getting half a cup of milk in. Half a cup of milk. Maybe an extra cup, so maybe like a whole cup of milk, because that should be good enough. But yeah, there we go. So now we just want it to melt a bit. And then once it starts melting, then we can stir it some, so yeah. Alright, well, the pot's boiling, so you know what to do. There we go. And of course, you want to let it sit and let it stir once in a while, but meanwhile, let's check in on our cheese. Okay, starting to get creamy there. I have it a little over medium, so yeah, just stir it once in a while because you just don't want to let it sit there. But yeah, it is getting sticky, but it should come out fine. We are going to be adding a little bit extra cheddar when we get to the point where we add our cheese in because we want to make it as sticky as possible. Yeah, we're just going to keep stirring until it gets nice and creamy. Okay, it looks like it's getting in there pretty good. We're gonna add some extra cheese to it. We're almost done with our macaroni, but I recommend letting it go on to like at least at number 3, or I'll just show you. Okay, probably leave it on this position for at least 10 minutes. That way it will thicken up a bit. So yeah, we're almost done with the mac and cheese. So we'll drain it out. Then yeah. And by mac and cheese, I mean the mac, because the cheese is right. Yeah. We're going to drain the mac, and yeah, we'll get to the part with the cheese. Okay, we're going to spice it up a little bit. If you have some pepper, like a pepper grinder or something, yeah, add some pepper in there. Make it a little more fancy, like it does in the show. Nice. So, yeah, just put the cheese on low as we get ready to add the macaroni in. Okay, so here we got the macaroni. I recommend getting a little bit of butter to add. This is the squeezy butter kind, but you don't have to do it the way I'm doing. It's actually smarter to do this over the sink, but yeah, just get a little bit of butter, stir it in, because we want it to get sticky in with the macaroni. But you know how noodles work. Okay, now that they're buttered up, nice and yeah, we can put it in with the cheese. Okay, so here we are with the cheese. It looks pretty cheesy. Alright, So, yeah, let's get the macaroni in there, dump that in, and of course, we stir that bad boy up. You might want to stir it for at least maybe 2 minutes, but we're going to get to the part where we stir in the extra cheddar that we have. So yeah, just add in a little bit of that extra cheddar. It should help a little bit. Okay, so chances are the cheese might get a little too chunky, so what I would probably recommend doing is getting this type of cheese, because we need to get as much of it sticky as we possibly can get it. So let's start off with 5, because again, I'm doing this from scratch. So again, I'm really just doing this for fun, but yeah. 1 slice, 2 slices, 3 slices, 4 slices, and 5 slices. And again, we want to get it as sticky as we possibly can get it, so we don't want to use too much of this, so I recommend just using just a little bit more, and it should help a bit with the stickiness. Yeah, that should do the trick. Now we just gotta stir it in. Yeah, I usually like to add extra cheese when I'm like making hamburger helper or something. Get a little bit of that extra thickness in there, but yeah, this is very thick indeed. I recommend having the burner on to at least medium when doing this. So yeah, I said mac and cheese was a simple recipe, but with what's going on right now, it doesn't seem that way, but we're getting there. Okay, yeah, that helped out a lot because it was mostly just going into a big blob form. But yeah, that extra cheese definitely helped. So yeah, if you're lactose intolerant, it's probably best not to look at this. So yeah, but anyways, let's let it cool down for just a little bit, not for too much, because we need the top of the cheese, the extra bit of cheese melt. Because yeah, that should be sticky enough. So we are going to get it in this thing. So yeah, we're gonna use this type of scoop to scoop it up and then put it in, cause yeah. Okay, we are getting very close to the end here. Now, I know I used the scoop earlier, but that's because I wanted to test it out, make sure it was sticky enough. And yeah, if you let it cool down some, then it should help a bit. I mean, yeah. Anyways, if I get some on the table, hopefully I won't. But yeah, because still gotta decorate. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is super cheesy. I have something in the oven already. I'm making pizza to go with this. Okay, that should be good enough. Okay, just want to mold it in as good as we possibly can. All right, now let's get to decorating. All right, so now we add in the extra cheese. I can always clean up what's on the table. But yeah, you should know what you're getting yourself into. I'm just gonna wipe this off the table. Alright, just let it sit for a little bit, make sure all that cheese is nice and melty. So yeah, it looks like it's getting there. Of course, if it's not melting good enough, then, you know, you can always use a lighter and try to get it as melty as you possibly get. You can get, like, if you got like one of those mini blow torches. But this should help a little. Okay, yeah, this lighter looks, this lighter works a lot better. Yeah, it was taking me forever with that one. So yeah, I recommend getting this type of lighter if it's not hot enough. But yeah, we're almost done with this. Alright, we are this close to finishing. Alright, so get your crumbs. Just, yeah, depending on how big they are, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah. Of course, if you want the crumbs a little more toasted, you could do that too. Of course, you could just do the easy way and just put them in the oven before crumpling them up. Alright, but next up we got one of our most important ingredients, the balsamic reduction. Like I said before, I'm using balsamic glaze because it's essentially the same thing. It is going to make the mac and cheese a little bit dark, but I saw on the official Amazing World of Gumball website that they did use this, so you can make it dark if you wanted to, but it should still make it taste good. You can use this on meats, desserts, but yeah. Of course, if this doesn't look as appetizing to you, you can always just do it without. It's always just an option.
try adding a little more crumbs, just in case you want it to be a little bit more like the style of the show. Keep that up a little bit more. Nice and toasty. It was hard for me to know what type of leaf to use, so, but I think this should be good enough. Okay, we just top it off. And there we go. Alright. So here we have the Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball mac and cheese with the focaccia crumb and balsamic reduction. I never actually had balsamic reduction before, but yeah, let's try this out. Alright, let's see if that balsamic reduction has helped at all. Let's be careful, let's get a small little taste here, get that balsamic reduction in. Oh wow. It's sweet. But it makes it taste really freaking good. Yeah, I can see why Gumball was drooling all over this when he's seeing it for the first time. Let's get some of those crumbs in. That is very impressive. But yeah, I really shouldn't be eating this because I'm having pizza as well. Well, I'm having pizza to go with this, but... So again, you can make it in any way you want. You can even eat it without the balsamic reduction, but I made it extra cheesy just in case because I want it to be sticky enough. I want to replicate the show as good as I possibly could, but I think it turned out pretty well in the end. My dad's here. I'm going to let him try some, so... yeah, anyways, check this out. If you have your own recipe, let me know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try my best to see, I want to get more of these out once in a while, but I can't guarantee that there'll be more of these, like, once every 2 weeks or so. I'm not going to do anything like that, but, yeah. It's going to be really hard because I'm going to be getting my wisdom teeth out soon, so I'm not going to be able to eat things. At least not hard things for... Anyways, I'm just going to stop right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, maybe subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links in the description, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.